Hi friends, in the last class for the Azure Solution Architect, we have seen gathering information about the existing enterprise architecture. Today we are going to cover identifying the roles and responsibilities in Microsoft Azure. Consider you are working as a solution architect or Azure Solution Architect. If you are implementing a project, if you are implementing a Azure cloud infrastructure, deploying, configuring, managing, maintaining. One of the key tasks is identifying the roles and responsibility based on the project size. You need to determine the project size, whether you are deploying the prod resources, whether you are deploying the test or demo environment, or you are going to deploy the lab environment. First, you have to identify the environment or cloud infrastructure you are going to deploy. Corporates maintain different environment, prod environment, UAT, test, staging. They will maintain different environment. So we need to identify the roles and responsibilities in Microsoft Azure. Let us start. So we need to identify and define the roles and responsibilities. It is essential for governance, Azure cloud governance, cloud security, and for the efficient operation. In traditional on-premise environment, we have a team for managing the corporate infrastructures. We have IT manager and then IT support team, security team, server team, network team. We have a separate team in on-premises environment. All the teams will report to the IT manager or chief technology officer. But cloud, we know there are three service models: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. In cloud, it is a shared responsibility model. The data center setup, data center networking, storage, cooling, everything will be taken by the cloud providers. Microsoft Azure, AWS, and GCP. They will take care of. Rest will take care by the customer clients. So we need a granular dynamic access control and clear role definition. Why do we need to identify the roles and responsibilities? We need to implement the zero trust framework in our cloud resources, in our cloud environment. This zero trust framework consists of three core principles. The first principle is least privilege access. So we need to enforce the least privilege access in cloud environment, because we need to implement the security. So we have to clearly define the roles and responsibilities. So we have to enable the Azure rollbacks access control. Azure RBAC roles. We need to implement the Azure RBAC roles. These are all based on the least principle. Least principle access. Why do we need this least principle access? Why do we enable Azure RBAC roles? We need to minimize the attack surface. If we want to minimize the attack surface, we need to implement the least privilege access model as rollback access model. So we need to assign the specific role to the specific team members instead of providing a, like, for example, any new trainee is joined, your task, you assign the task for the new joiner trainees to monitor the Azure VMs. So we need to create a custom role to access the VMs, to monitor the VM only. That means we can provide a read-only access instead of giving owner access or contributor access. So we need to assign a right permission to the right people. So we can minimize the attack surface. And then preventing accidental damage. So if we provide a right people, right access to the right people, we can prevent the accidental deletion, modification, and damage for our cloud resource, cloud environment. Don't provide owner access to all the people. Don't provide contributor access to all the people. Because in cloud environment, each and every resource is billable. All the resources will accumulate the cost. So we need to optimize the cost. We need to control the cost, and we need to secure our cloud resources. We need to provide least privilege access to our team members. So whenever there is a need, we can provide the reader access. Whenever there is a need, we can provide the contributor or owner access. So based on the roles and responsibilities, we can assign the permissions. Reader permission, owner permission, contributor permission. The third point is controlling delegation. We can clearly define the roles and we can dedicate the permission. We can ensure that authority to grant permission is tightly controlled and audited, preventing unauthorized privilege escalation. Will you go and assign owner permission to the developers or all of your team members? No, you won't do. As a solution architect, you have to define the roles and responsibilities. Based on it, you have to assign the permission. You have to assign the RBAC roles. The second point is mastering the shared responsibility model. In cloud, security and management duties are spread between Microsoft and the customers. Defined organizational roles clarify the customer's portion of the shared responsibility. What are the responsibility of the Microsoft? What are the responsibility of the customers, clients? So there is we need a clarity on the ownership. So role must be defined who is responsible for configuration item like network security group, data encryption keys, patching. So we need to identify the respective stakeholders who will be managing the energy part, whether they are network engineers or platform team members. We need to identify. Usually this kind of network configuration part will go to the Azure network engineers, Azure admins, Azure engineers. What about the data encryption keys? Who will manage the Azure keyword secret? Whether the security team manage the Azure keyword secret or application owners, who will manage it? We need to clarify the ownership of the task. OS patching. Who manages the patching of our IASVM? Whether it an operation team or a server team or network team, who manages the patching of the ISVMs. So we need a clarity of the ownership of the task. So we have to identify the roles and responsibility and allocate the task or roles responsibility to the specific team. And also we can avoid the gaps. So without defining roles, critical tasks like monitoring, patching, compliance auditing can fail through the cracks, leaving the organization exposed. In every enterprise, in every corporate enterprise architecture, enterprise infrastructure, corporate infrastructure, we have several teams running: DevOps team, operation team, server teams, cloud engineers, security admins, cyber security admins, security analysts. Lot of teams will be there. So we need to clarify, we need to clearly define the roles and responsibilities of each and every team. So we can avoid the gaps. Then ensuring accountability and the efficiency. Why do we need to identify the roles and responsibility? We need to ensure the accountability and the efficiency. For example, any product service goes down, who will be responsible? If any VM showing high CPU utilization, high memory utilization, who will be responsible? Whom we need to send the notification mail? So we need to ensure the accountability and the efficiency in the Azure cloud infrastructure. We need to clearly define the roles and responsibilities. We can use a RACI matrix. RACI, RACI, responsible, accumulate, consultant, informed. It is a decision making model used to clearly define the roles which drive the efficiency and accountability. So we need to eliminate the duplication, clearly define the responsibility, prevent multiple teams from spending time on the same task. We need to eliminate the duplication. If multiple teams doing the same task, what is the point of? If multiple teams handling the same task, if there is any outage or downtime, who will be responsible? Whether all the teams will be responsible? No. So we have to eliminate the duplication. We can efficiently define the operation, efficient operation, and then streamline the decision making process. When a critical decision is needed, like approving a high cost service deployment, the designated accountable role provides the single point of sign off, preventing delays and confusion. For example, if any clients asking you to deploy a high end VMs like GPU enabled VMs, those are cost very high, like $1,024 or $2,500, something like that. Okay, it is very high cost VMs. Will you, if any client is asking you to deploy the high cost VMs, high cost VMs, will you go and deploy it? No, you should not do it because we have to get the approval. Because these are all billable. At the end of the month, whatever the charges accumulated, it will be automatically deducted from the credit card, and then invoice will be available for the download. So you have to responsible to send the invoice to the respective accounts team, or else they will fire back you. So we need to streamline the decision making, and we need to improve the auditing. Defender roles provide a clear audit trail. When a change occurs, you immediately know which role performs the action, which team is accountable for the outcome. Simplify the post instant reviews and troubleshooting. For eliminating the duration duplication, for streamlining the decision making, for improving the auditing, we need to clearly define the roles and responsibilities. The fourth point is supporting governance and cost control, FinApps. So cloud environments are dynamic. For example, today in your Azure subscription, 20 prod VMs are running and 5 test VMs are running and 2 web apps are running. What about tomorrow, day after tomorrow? Will it be the same? No. A day after tomorrow may deploy another 20 prod VMs, another 10 databases, another 10 web apps based on the client requirement. So it is the cloud environment is dynamic. So without the governance, the cost and complexity can quickly spiral out of control. I have seen a lot of project. Recently, we incurred there is a problem with AI project. The AI team they are developing some AI chatbots. They deployed a few AI Foundry AI chatbot resources, which cost almost 20,000 US dollars. So at the end of the day, at the end of the month, no one is responsible. Whenever they accounts team coming asking, no one take the responsibilities. So cloud environments are dynamic. So we need to optimize the cost and make the operation efficiently. So for cost management, FinOps, we need to define the roles. Roles must be accountable for monitoring and reporting the cloud spending, cloud cost. For example, the FinOps team might be accountable for the budget report, while the workload owner is responsible for right sizing the deployed resources. FinOps team always responsible for accountable for the budget report. See, every month we have to prepare the budget. We have to update the budget. For yearly, we used to prepare the budget. Or we have yearly budget and we have monthly budget. The respective delivery manager will be responsible for right sizing the deployed resources. So every month, the project manager needs to check all the deployed resources and he need to make sure all the resources are properly utilized. If any unutilized resources are there, he has to that project team, the project manager needs to check with the team lead or the team members to clean up the unused resources to optimize the cost. And then standardization. The cloud governance team or cloud center of excellence CCOE is typically responsible for defining the standard. We need to implement the governance. We need to implement the governance policies, standards, tagging, naming convention. So clear rule ensure the standard are enforced thoroughly through Azure policy deployment by the platform team. The platform team will be responsible for deploying the Azure policies. So we need to make sure our cloud infrastructure is standardized. We need to implement the clear-cut naming standards, tagging, Azure policy, deployment, everything. And then compliance. Compliance with the regulation like HIPAA, GDPR, auditable proof that only authorized personnel can access sensitive resources. So we need to define the roles or RBACs for the technical mechanism to prove the compliance. So in short, identifying the roles is not just an HR exercise. It is not a HR roles. It is not a HR roles. These are all technical roles. So we need to clearly define the roles and responsibilities in cloud infrastructures for security and operational framework for effective cloud management. Let us look into the decision making models. RASI model. This RASI model is to clarify the roles and responsibility for a specific task, deliverables, or a decision in a project or operational environment. We use different decision making models in project management to clearly define the roles and responsibilities. In RASI model, R means responsible. Responsible means those who do the work. L1 team, L2 team, or L3 team, L1, L2, L3. They are all who are working in the project. So they are responsible. A for accountable, the one who sign off on the work. Who will provide the authorization? For example, if client asks you to deploy few SQL Server databases, whether you directly go and deploy the resources, first you have to get your delivery manager or project manager approval. Here, who is accountable? Project manager is accountable. He is the one who provides the approval for deploying the cloud resources. S means support. S represents support. Resource allocated to the assist the responsibility parties. L1, L2, L3 teams will work on the project. We need a support team. Who will the support team? Maybe a security team, a compliance team, DevOps team. They will assist the project teams. C means consulted. Those providing the input before the decision making. So these are all the delivery managers. These are all the project managers. These are all the VP for technology. So they will be consulted. These people, these consulted, these people are the handling the clients. They are all mostly on the VP level. They used to connect the clients. They used to interact with the clients. So they will be consulted. Finally, it is I informed. Those notified of the after the decision. See, inform is BU head. BU head will be informed about whatever the happening in the project, whatever the decision took for the project. It will be informed with the BU head. So this RASI model clearly defines the roles and responsibilities for each and every task in a project. See here, R means responsible. Who is ultimately responsible for the result of the project? Who is going to work in the project? R means that is L1 team, L2 team, and L3 team. Project team. A means accountable. Who will be make the final decision about the project? Project manager. So they are accountable. Or delivery manager, they are accountable. They are going to take the final call. They are going to approve for the deployment of cloud resources. As for support, who will provide support to the people who are accountable? The delivery managers, project managers, they will they are not going to directly connect with the L1, L2, L3 team. They are going to connect with team lead or tech lead. And then see consulted, who must be consulted before the decision are made. The delivery manager, project manager, they used to consult with the respective VPs or project head. They are the BU heads. Finally, I informed who needs to know the outcome or about the decision made. He may be a BU head. So I mostly in the BU head, C mostly in the VPs or who is handling multiple project. S for support, A for accountable, R for responsible. Responsible is the team who is going to work. A for A is for the delivery manager, project managers. S for means they are all like senior managers, senior project managers, like that. So one more decision making model is Cairo or Kari. C consultant, input providers. A accountable, single approver. I informed, recipient of status update. R responsible, doers of the work. O omitted, explicitly specify who is not involved. Here R responsible, who is the doer of the work. That is L1, L2, L3 team. Informed, recipient of the status update. Who will you provide status update? You will provide to the project manager or delivery manager. Who is accountable? Single approval. He is the like senior manager, senior project manager, consultant C, input providers. They are the BU heads. So this structure may differ organization to organization. The hierarchical organization structure may differ, but all the hierarchical organizations follow these models, these decision making models. There are more decision making models like DASI, Rapid, Vroom, the process implementation and the authority models, LSD, RKey. There is a lot of models are available. RASI is the one of the most famous model used in Azure cloud infrastructures. RASI, R responsible, A accountable, C controlled, I informed. They clearly define and document the roles and responsibilities of the various stakeholders or teams. So if you are working as a cloud solution architect, or if you are managing a large scale enterprise cloud infrastructures, you should use this model. You can use this model to clearly define the roles and responsibilities of your cloud team or stakeholders. There are four RASI roles or for responsible. The person or people who do the work to complete the task are deliverable. Server admins, cloud engineers, Azure admins, they are the responsible. Network engineers, they are the responsible. They execute the task. Azure admins, server admins, they execute the task. They often involve the execution of team like DevOps engineers. There can be multiple roles. There will be server team, there will be application team, there will be operation team, there will be DevOps engineer team. Multiple teams will be there who will be actually working on the project. R bar responsible. A for accountable, the person who is ultimately answerable for the correct and thorough completion of delivery or decision. He is the project manager or delivery managers. They will be accountable for whatever happening in the project. They will be accountable. The project manager or delivery manager, they approve the work done by the responsible party like Azure admin, DevOps engineers, apps team. There must be only one party for a task. Accountable. There must be only one delivery manager for a particular project. Maybe a lot of projects running your company, but for each and every project there is a project manager or delivery manager. He is the only person responsible for that particular project. C. Consulted. The people whose opinion are sought and whose provide input or expertise before a decision is made or work is completed. He is the account manager. Account manager manages multiple projects. So the delivery manager or the project manager has to consult with the account manager, because account manager know the costing part. He know what is the revenue, what is the cost for the particular project. So the project manager has to consult with the account manager. This require, yeah, C means consulted. This require a two-way communication. C's are active participant in the process, because the account manager always constantly touch with the clients. They will constantly touch with the project managers. I informed people who are kept up to date on progress. These are BU heads. So be almost there might be a few different departments, sales, marketing, or multiple project. Multiple BU will be there. So BU head is responsible for, he is managing large portion of the project, multiple project. He should be kept up to date of the progress. This one-way communication, status report, email, they don't provide input but need to know the outcome. These are passive recipient of information. We're not going to provide any update. They will collect all the input from the account managers and project manager. They will provide the concerns report to the company CEO. Benefit of using the RASI matrix. It is a systematic application of RASI provides several benefits, especially in cross-functional or complex cloud project. Clarity. This RASI decision-making model, the RASI matrix provides clarity. It eliminates the ambiguity over who is responsible for delivery and who has the final authority to approve. Efficiency. It streamlines the decision-making process by designating a single accountable person, avoiding confusion. Accountability. It ensures every task has an owner, preventing work from fading through the cracks. Accountability. It will assign a task for each and every person. Communication. It clarifies who need to be actively consulted for inputs versus who only need to be possibly informed of the result. So there is a organizational structure will be there. Teams, project manager, and then account manager, and then BU head, and then company CEO, VPs, company CEOs. So best practice and key rules are always A for per task. For every task, there must be exactly one accountable person to ensure clear ownership and avoid decision paralysis. For every task, there should be only one accountable person, at least one hour for task. Every task needs at least one responsible party to ensure work done. Balance workload. Ensure no single person is overloaded with too many hours and years. Avoid over consulting. Limit the number of C's to prevent unnecessary meetings and delays. So we should make note of all this recommendation, all these points when we are designing, identifying roles and responsibilities and assigning to the respective stakeholders. If you look at the roles and responsibilities in Microsoft Azure, we are following, or there is a lot of built-in Azure RBAC roles. There are two type of roles. One is Entra ID roles or Azure AD RBAC roles. Another one is Azure RBAC roles. If you look at the Azure RBAC roles, we can discuss the built-in roles later in the video. Now we are going to define the role based on the governance and strategy, based on the function like governance and strategy. For the large scale Azure cloud infrastructure, for the governance and strategy, we have cloud governance board or steering committee. This cloud governance board steering committee, they define the cloud strategy, they define the cloud policy, they define the budget, ensure alignment with the business objective and compliance requirement. And we have cloud center of excellency. This CCOE, they develop the standard, they develop the best practices, they develop the templates to automate the script. Then they will drive the adaptation as an act as an internal consultant for the engineering team. And then we have Azure owners, Azure admins, account managers. They manage the subscription lifecycle, overall cost accountability, typically owner role. So these are all the roles used in governance and strategy. To platform engineering and operation. For the platform engineering and operation, we have different roles. We have Azure platform architect, design the who will design the target stage architecture, that is landing zone, networking, identity, security baselines. They oversee this Azure platform architect. They oversee the technical governance and ensure solution are secure, scalable, and cost effective. And then we have Azure platform engineers. These Azure engineers, they will deploy and manage the core SAD services, Azure firewalls, Express Route WAN, Gateway, Azure Policy, Azure Monitor. So these Azure platform engineers, they will take care of the shared services, core shared services, which is deployed in the core VNet in hub and spoke topology. And we have cloud network engineers. They manage the VNet subnet configuration, routing tables, peering, load balancer, DNS, connectivity to on-premises. Everything will taken by the Azure network engineers or cloud network engineers. And we have cloud operation team or SRE, site reliability engineers. They monitor and manage the health and performance of the platform and incident response, patching, backup recovery, everything handled by the cloud operation teams. So these are all the teams, these are all the roles available in the platform engineering and operations. And then security and compliance. In security compliance, we have several roles. Cloud security architect. Cloud security architect will design and enforce the security posture using services like Azure Security Center, like Defend Our Cloud, Azure Sentinel, Azure Policy. Define the least privilege model. This will be handled by the cloud security architect. And then we have IAM specialist, identity access management specialist, IAM specialist. They manage the Azure Active Directory or Entra ID, we call it. Now it is rebranded to Entra ID. Condition access policy, PIM privilege identity management, MFA implementation, everything will take care by the IAM team. And then we have compliance risk officer. They ensure the environment meets the regulatory compliance like GDP, HIPAA, ISO 27000, audit logs, configuration, everything will be taken care by the compliance team. And then we have application development and DevOps team. So this there are multiple roles for application development and DevOps. Application architect, they will design the application level component, microservices, database schemas, messaging queues. They will select and approve appropriate other services for the application workload. Then we have DevOps engineers, DevOps engineers and developers. These developers and DevOps engineers, they will deploy and manage the application workload within an established landing zone. Focus on code deployment, application monitoring, ensuring the application meet performance SLA. And then we have data engineers and AI engineers. They take care of managing Azure data services, Azure Snaps, Azure SQL database, Azure data lake, as well as for the data governance pipeline and analytics. So if you look at the fundamental roles available in Azure, there are these are the roles: owner, contributor, reader, user access administrator, and the specific roles. There are multiple roles, almost 200 plus built-in roles are available in the Azure RBAC roles. Let us see how to apply a RASI model to migrate physical server from on-premise to the cloud. It is essential to clarify the complex dependency and cross-functional work involved. The process is often called a lift and shift migration or a reuse strategy, okay, coordination across infrastructure, networking, security, and application teams. Let us discuss in detail. See here, the task is migrating the physical server from on-premise environment to the cloud. If you are receiving any cloud migration, if you are working in a cloud migration project, these are all the roles and responsibilities. Here see, task deliverable, project manager, infrastructure team, cloud platform team, application owner, security team. Server discovery and assessment will be carried by the infrastructure team or operation team. They are accountable to platform engineer and application owners. The application owners and platform engineer will be accountable to project managers. So here for server discovery and assessment using the Azure Migrate, infrastructure team operation is going to work on the project, work on the task. They will report to project manager. Project manager will consult with the cloud platform engineers and application owners and SMEs. Then they will inform the status update to the security team. Security team finally they will check the is there any risk or misconfiguration in the server discovery assessment that process. The task number 2 is target Azure network design, VNet and subnet design. Who are all the responsible? Cloud platform engineer they will be responsible. So they will be accountable to the cloud platform engineer. They will take care of accountability. They will consult with the infrastructure team and operation team and security team. Then they will provide the update to the project manager and application owners. See here, each and every task, the RASI role is different. For configuration, migrating tools like Azure migration, replication appliance, this for task, who is responsible? Infrastructure team and operation team is responsible. And then they will be accountable to the platform engineer team. Then it will be informed to application team, security team and project manager. The fourth task, pre-migration security and hardening and compliance check. Who will do it? Security team will do it. They will be accountable. They will consult with the cloud platform engineers and infrastructure and operation team. Then they will provide the update to project manager and application owners. The fifth task is initiate and monitor the initial data replication. Who will do it? Infrastructure team will do it or operation team will do it. Cloud engineers will do it. Then they will accountable to the project manager. Project manager will inform the status update to application owners and security team. For the sixth task, performing test failure. Who are all the responsible? Operation team, infrastructure team and cloud platform engineer team. They will be accountable to application owners and SME. Then they will consult with the security team and project manager. Seventh step is final production cutover. Here it will be done by infrastructure and operation team, cloud platform team. They will be accountable to project manager, and it will be consulted with application owners and security team. Finally, it is decommissioned on the on-premises physical server. So infrastructure team will take care of the decommission the servers on-prem. They are accountable to project manager. Project manager consult with security team. Then they will inform the status update about the platform engineering team and application owners. So to provide a clear-cut different role for each and every person in the project. If you break down the task, the first is server discovery and assessment. Azure Migrate. By using the Azure Migrate, we use Azure Migrate to discover the on-premises servers and run the assessment. The infrastructure operation team, they are responsible for installing the discovery agent on the on-premises servers and gather the performance data. Project manager is accountable for the completeness and accuracy of the assessment report, ensure it drives a right migration plan. Application owners, they must be consulted to confirm the server role dependency and business criticality flagged in the report. Number 2 task, target the Azure network design VNet subnet. This task focuses on building the foundational connectivity in the cloud. Cloud platform engineers, they are both responsible for creating the technical VNet, subnet and network design security groups configuration are accountable for ensuring the design adhered to the established Azure landing zone architecture. And the infrastructure operation team and security team, they are consulted to ensure that new cloud network can be integrated with the on-premises resources and meet the segmentation requirement. And project manager application owners, they are informed of the finalized network details but do not provide input on the technical design. Third point is configure migration tooling. So we have to set up the Azure migration tooling, that is Azure Migrate Replication Appliance. So this is the technical setup needed for the to start migrate the servers from on-premise to cloud. We have cloud platform engineers, they are accountable for overall functionality and readiness of the replication infrastructure in Azure. And then infrastructure and operation team, they are responsible for the physical virtual installation and configuration of the replication appliance. And all other parties, they will be informed. Pre-migration security hardening and compliance check. Who is the responsible and accountable person? Security team. So they are responsible and accountable for the security configuration. And then infrastructure and operation, they will be consulted. And cloud platform engineer also consulted. Fifth step, initiate and monitor initial data replication. The task is initiate the first major step of the physical migration. So infrastructure team and operation team and cloud platform team, they will be responsible for the initial migration. So project managers, they are accountable for the authorizing the replication to start and confirming that the first major milestone of data transfer has been successfully initiated. Sixth step is perform the test failover. So application team owners will be accountable because they are only going to test the application, whether the application is functioning correctly or not. Once the servers are migrated to the cloud, application will be responsible for ensure that all the applications are properly functioning after migrating to the cloud. The infrastructure and operation team, cloud platform engineer team, they are responsible for executing the technical steps. Security team is consulted to perform a spot check. And final production cutover. Project manager is the single person accountable for maintaining the cutover window and authorizing the final execution, ensuring all prerequisites are met and communication is handled. Infrastructure operation team and the cloud platform team are both responsible for executing the final steps stopping the on-premises servers, performing the final commitment in Azure Migrate, and updating the DNS records. The application owner is consultant to verify the application is fully functional, online and accessible to the clients.